Hey, Shalom, I'm going to start out by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there listening and learning. Shalom. Hey, this video is going to be on prophecy. I woke up this morning, I seen this article, and I was kind of upset. So I sat back and thought about it, right? And I say, it's a beautiful thing to be in this truth, right? So I'm gonna share it with you. This is it's from the Press United. I originally saw it on RT, Russian Times, but it reads: the Nuclear 5 issue statements on atomic war and arms race. It says the nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought. Global powers agree. China, France, Russia, the UK, and US have released a joint statement affirming their opposition to using their nuclear arsenal for offensive purposes. They also promised to work together on a nuclear disarmament. Right, so these devils is coming together, right, like they always do, right, because they understand that we've woken up now, and prophecy is going to start rolling here, right, and the major prophecy is this nuke war, right. This is Psalms 2:2. It says, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai shall have them in derision. Right? So, hey, this ain't nothing new, right? But this is prophecy coming to pass, right? These devils always come together as long as it's against the children of Israel, right? And the Lord, right? He's laughing at them, right? Because he knows why they're doing this. Hey, and we laughing too, because this shows us that they scared, right? Deep down, they scared, and there's no doubt about it, right? But bear with me one moment. Right, but the Lord, they created these things, right? So there's not going to be no, they can't just deactivate these nuclear missiles just because they want to. No, the Lord created these things, right? And the Lord is going to use the things that he created. This is the book of Isaiah, the 54th chapter. And the 16th verse, it reads, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. Right? And the smiths is the scientists, right? Robert Oppenheimer, right? All these guys, the Manhattan Projects, those are all former smiths, right? Like they make things, right? So the Lord created them for that. And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And they created those missiles, right? And I have created the waster to destroy, right? And that waster is those missiles and these weapons of war, right? This is what the Smiths make, right? They blowing the coals in the fire, and they forging these nuclear warheads, and these fuel chambers and all that. Hey, the Lord created this, right? So ain't no way they're gonna be able to stop it, right? I'm going to go back to the article. It says, we affirm that a nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought. Read the statement released on Monday. As nuclear use would have far-reaching consequences, we also affirm that nuclear weapons, for as long as they are continued to exist, should serve defensive purposes, deter aggression, and prevent war. Right? So they just reaching to try to do this. Right? It says the 5 signatories said they will continue to abide by their bilateral and multilateral non-proliferation, disarmament, and arms control agreements and commitments, and claim that none of their nukes are targeted at each other or any other state. Right? But hey, these people have no control over these things, right? The Lord is the one that says if there's going to be nuclear war or not, right? So even if they say that they're going to be able to do that, then it's not their call, right? And there's a video, right? Here's a video on YouTube, right? It says I'm gonna play the video, and this is a disclaimer. This is not for monetary purposes. This is for edification only, right? But listen to what these people say, right?
Several former U.S. Air Force officers have shared that almost 70 years ago, they witnessed multiple unidentified aerial phenomenon sightings over 2 U.S. nuclear bases. Shockingly, the men also claimed that these 1964 aerial sightings occurred nearly simultaneously with the spontaneous immobilizing of the base's nuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles, suggesting that whatever or whoever was up there successfully disabled the ICBMs from above.
Friend of the show, Emily Jashinsky, attended a Tuesday press conference.
Right. So this is video was saying that, hey, these UFOs, right, or these chariots of the Lord are capable of taking over, right, the control functions away from them, and either disabling them or enabling them whenever they choose, right? The Lord has full control over this thing. This is the book of Ezekiel. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 39. Salaki. 39. Salaki, bear with me for one moment. It's 39 and 3. Man, my handwriting is crazy. It says, I will smite thy bow out of thy left hand, right? And that word smite, it goes into knocking it out of his hand. Let me look up that definition. It's my head already had it looked up. Right? A smite means a heavy blow or stroke with the weapon or the hand. So the Lord say he's going to smite. Right? Smite means to strike sharply or heavily, especially with the hand or an implement held in hand. So that missile that they hold, the Lord say he's going to smite it out of their hand. Smite the bow out of thy left hand, and I will cause thy arrows to fall out of thy right hand. And how is he going to do that? By this video, what it was saying. Listen again.
These 1964 aerial sightings occurred nearly simultaneously with the spontaneous immobilizing of the base's nuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles, suggesting that whatever or whoever was up there successfully disabled the ICBMs.
Right, so the Lord is able to smite these things out of their hand. Right, so you know, this is all for naught, right? All this gesturing, you know, all this is put in place as a stumbling block, right? To have you fall back into the world. So you'll say, well, it's never gonna happen in my lifetime, and they just still inside a nuclear treaty. Wrong, right? The Lord is in full control. Right, and he's able to do what he wants at any time, and this is why you have to hold the faith. This is why I made this, right? Let's go back to the article. It say the 5 nuclear nations known as the P5 are not the only countries in the world with atomic weapons. India and Pakistan both possess them, and Israel is widely known to have a nuclear arsenal. North Korea has also tested several nuclear devices. Monday's statement comes at a time when relations between some of the P5 are at a historic low point. Russia and U.S. have long squabbled over the placement of American nukes in Europe, and with lawmakers in Washington recently accusing Moscow of planning an invasion of Ukraine, a claim rejected by the Kremlin. And some in Congress has even called for nuclear war should that invasion take place. Right? Hey, so this thing is coming together, right? And you should also know, right? Esau, right? Mostly all these nations are Edomite nations, but these people, right, don't follow their covenant, right? This is the book of Psalms, the 55th chapter and the 20th verse, right? It said he put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. And this is exactly what this is. This is supposed to be a nuclear peace treaty, right? A proliferation. This is where you get the word peace from, right? So this is the spirit that the Lord put on Esau, Right? He put forth his hands that be such as it be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. And this is what this is right here. This P5 is a covenant with all these other nations, right? So this isn't going to stand, right? The Lord is going to mingle a spirit in these people, and this thing's going to go, right? So there's not going to be any peace for them, right? And if it is, if they believe that, right, this is the book of 1 Thessalonians 5:3, right? It reads, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travaileth upon a woman with child, and they shall not be able to escape." Right? So there's not going to be any peace for these wicked people. Right, because they're not going to even know, even though they have this P5, right? They've also included that all these other nations have weapons as well, right? It reads India, Pakistan, both possess them, Israel, North Korea, and they have other places, right? Other countries have these nuclear weapons as well. Right, this is why Esau has the CIA and all that. There's a movie called "The Summer of All Fears," where somebody sold one of those nations sold a nuclear weapon, right? Because I believe they was low on money or something, and they sold it. So this is why they're not gonna know. This is why it says in the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter. Right, these scriptures is like a puzzle, right? And the Lord, this is why we give double honors, right? This is Isaiah 47:11. It say, "Therefore evil shall come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth." Right? So they're not gonna know who's gonna knock these things off. But all it takes is for one to get lit and one to hit. If one of these missiles hit, let's say Washington, D.C., hey, there's gonna be a big retaliation, right, for whoever that they think did it. It's gonna be a major retaliation, and it's gonna lead to an all-out Holocaust out here. It say, "Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know." Right, so Esau can forget about it, right? He's not getting away from any of this, right? And these peace talks is going to do him no good. The scripture reads, Isaiah 48:22, "There is no peace, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, unto the wicked," right? There is no peace for you, right? And I'm going to show you what the peace means, just for further edification. Right, it says the peace symbol was the campaign for nuclear disarmament symbol designed by Gerald Holtom in 1958. Right, so there is no peace for this devil. Right, there's no peace for Esau, Edom, nor any of the rest of these nations that put their hand against the children of Israel. Every last one of y'all is going to pay, and we're going to be ruling in the kingdom forever. Hey, Lord willing, you was edified. All honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Shalom.